Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Working Crass Podcast. That's Lauren.
Hey, y'all.
And I'm Joshua. Hey, y'all. And this is your favorite podcast. Your favorite podcast of all of them. You might listen to Legion of Skanks. You might listen to Tim Dillon. You might listen to the last podcast on the left. You might listen to Radio Lab.
You might listen to Hillary Clinton's podcast.
She has a podcast?
Yeah, she has a podcast.
If you listen to both Hillary Clinton's podcast and Working Crass podcast, hey, more power to you, but
I mean, that's pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. We don't expect you to listen to this podcast, though.
We never thought we would have any crossover with that, but, hey.
But we know that of all the podcasts out there, you choose Working Crass Podcast because you know that deep down it's your favorite. Isn't it your favorite?
Right after Hillary Clinton's.
Well, this is just our place to joke and laugh and goof about the crazy shit going on in the world. And one of the craziest shits that is going on in the world right now, and has been for many years, is Twitter, which I don't have and you don't have.
Nope.
Neither of us have, yet everybody talks about it. And I feel like I also know the entire history of Twitter just, through society, like just through the news, just through living with people in the same country that Twitter exists in. We know what's happening on Twitter all the time. We know what's trending on Twitter because whatever's trending on Twitter is trending on the news.
Well, it's crazy because there's like two extremes. It's either what's on Twitter is the most important thing of our time and we must report on it because this is the public square.
Yes.
Or Twitter is completely unimportant. We shouldn't listen to anybody on Twitter ever.
Well, when they're kicking someone off of Twitter, they go, it's just Twitter. Like, it's not the real world. Quit making a big deal about it. But then also, if it's them talking, if it's like, something that they think is important and you haven't checked Twitter and you don't know the newest rule or the newest story about Twitter, they go, where have you been? Why don't you know this already?
Yeah.
Either get on board or get out.
So how Twitter is just everything.
Wtwitter is everything.
It's everything. It's all things. Twitter is me.
I have a coworker. She said, they were all talking about the Elon Musk stuff, which is what we're about to talk about here, and how Elon Musk owns Twitter, and people are leaving. They see this as like the end of Twitter forever. Like as we said in the previous podcast.
I've heard it's both the end of Twitter, but I've also heard that apparently Twitter has more users. Or user growth or something like that in its history.
Yeah, that's true.
So explain how it's both collapsing and also expanding at the same time. It's like a black hole.
Well, it is
right. It's like a black hole.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Twitter is a black hole.
It's dark matter.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it is dark matter. That's for sure. I mean, it will suck up everything living and destroy it and kill it. That's for sure.
And it will probably explode the sun and envelop our solar system and swallow the Earth into itself.
I mean, that's exactly correct. Twitter is a black hole. As we said before on this podcast, it's, now you're getting your heroin from a different dealer, and it just feels weird. They're talking at work about, Elon Musk taking it over and how, it's the end of Twitter. And this girl goes, well, I'm still on it, and I'm still on it till the day it dies. But I hate Elon Musk. It just goes to show how much of a drug it is. It's just like, yeah, no, I know several of my family members died of heroin, but I mean, I'm a ride or die, baby. Anyway, today Elon Musk posted a photo of his bedside table to Twitter, and everyone went crazy because, there's nothing else to really, talk about today. There's not a lot going on in the news, so this is what we have to do.
Slow news day. Slow news day. So what's out there? Elon Musk's bedside table. What crap does this guy got in his bedroom?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they can't find anything else on him, so they're just like, you know what? Let's shit on his bedside table. No, to be fair, he shared his bedside table. That's what happened here. Because, dig
up dirt on Elon. Find what's under his bed.
Someone get a picture of his boudoir.
I want you crawling through his cabinets.
I wonder what's on his countertop in the kitchen. What's cooking in the oven, Musk? What you got cooking? No, he posted a photo of his bedside table. And, as you can see here, I'll put it up on the thing. He's got a lot of Diet Cokes, a lot of a couple of guns, although I think I read that they're fake guns or just gun replicas. One in this fancy George Washington box, and also what they described as a Buddhist amulet over here. So that's good. And, of course, everybody who's reporting on this is like, it's a Buddhist amulet. We don't know what those do. They might have some kind of voodoo. It's some kind of weird ritualistic voodoo amulet.
It's a nod to communist China. He actually thinks Xi Jinping is really cool.
And also, he I guess responded to his own thing and said, "No, I don't use a coaster," or something like that. What did he say here? He's like, "There's no excuse for my lack of coasters," because there are a lot of drink rings all over his nightstand, which is great to know. Like, one of the richest people on earth, and we go over, like, I don't know. You could go to a poor person's house. They're like, "Please use a coaster," and then you go to the richest guy in the world's house, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't really care about coasters."
Yeah, it's good to know that we're a little bit classier than a billionaire. Because we do use coasters.
You go like, "Oh, do you have any coasters, Mr. Musk?" And he's like, "Nah, don't worry about it."
I'm building a rocket to send all the coasters to the moon.
Anyway, so
so are people saying this is like some sort of dog whistle?
I don't know. I think I don't know what people are saying. I think this is just like what's going on today, It's trending on Twitter today. It's just what's going on. This is what's on his, bedside table. Tomorrow it's we might get bombed. Tomorrow it's we might get nuked, but today it's on what's on Elon Musk's bedside table. Yesterday it was like, yeah, we know we were all wrong about COVID, but please forgive us. And today it's what's on Elon Musk's bedside table. Yesterday, it was just, we're going through, some of the worst inflation ever seen. But today it's like, what's on Elon Musk's bedside table? Like, we got to get to the important stuff here. New York Post says, Twitter CEO Elon Musk posted a photo of his bedside table. In quotes. That's a great thing, too. He posted a photo of his bedside table.
Was it by his bed? You tell us.
Featuring a few odd decorations, including a pair of non-firing guns, a Buddhist amulet, and multiple cans of Diet Coke.
Well, the New York Post would complain that the guns are non-firing.
Yeah, that's right.
They're very pro-gun, so...
I guess he has a replica of Washington's flintlock pistol in this box, which that's nice, and a cosplay gun because he does a little bit of cosplaying. Now, I've never seen. Are there pictures on the internet of Elon Musk in like cosplay? I'd love to see him as like an anime character,
as a waifu.
Oh my god, yeah! I'd love to see him with his like tongue out and his eyes crossed. It's like a hentai character.
I bet there is like.
I do love Buddhism ritual object. What is this weird voodoo he do? Oh man, there is no excuse for my lack of coasters. Interesting. The 51-year-old has a long history of posting provocative tweets, a habit that has drawn increased scrutiny since Musk acquired the platform for $44 billion in October. Did you see the thing? There was a girl, some actress lady who gave up her Tesla.
Yes.
And she got a Volkswagen instead.
Yes, the Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano was like, I'm giving up my Tesla because I denounce white supremacy. Which I didn't even know Elon Musk was a white supremacist. I didn't know that.
Well, now you know.
I didn't know he had anything to do with white supremacy. I think we should write a book and call it How to Label Everything White Supremacy. Chapter 1, tearing down discourse
You just call
one step at a time.
The book's just titled, Bet You Didn't Know This Was White Supremacist.
Chapter 1, eggs are white supremacy.
It's just one of those like bathroom reader books where it's just like a giant list.
So this was Alyssa Milano, you said?
Yeah, Alyssa Milano. And she was
goes,
like, I'm giving up my Tesla because I cannot support hate.
Yeah.
Or something along those
White
lines.
supremacy was in there. I
Yeah.
cannot support white supremacy. And then everyone pointed, and she goes, and I got a Volkswagen
Yeah.
instead. And everyone points out, you know that Volkswagen has a history of...
Made for and by Nazis.
You know Hitler made the Volkswagen. Some of them are like, you know Hitler made every Volkswagen car. You know Hitler hand makes those cars still to this day.
You know Hitler's spirit haunts those cars.
You know those cars just automatically run Jews off the road. Did you not know that?
You know the GPS in those cars only speaks to you in German.
Turn right. Anyway. I thought this was I thought this, to be honest, I thought this was not interesting at all, but it was trending on Twitter and we want to be popular. So we'll move on to something that we find more interesting. Now, when I see this kind of article, I go, now I'm interested.
We go, why isn't this the thing that's trending on Twitter? Why isn't this the top news of our day?
Well, to be fair, it's because this is an article from 2019, but I love it. I love it so much. Tennessee man accused of dipping testicles in customer's salsa before online delivery. So this is pre-COVID. This is 2019. So, you know.
Man, I wonder what's on this man's bedside table.
Just a lot of salsa. Just jars and jars of salsa. A Tennessee man was jailed on felony charges after appearing to dip his testicles into a container of salsa that a customer had ordered online. The delivery driver allegedly recorded it and posted a video online saying, "This is what you get when you give an 89-cent tip for an almost 30-minute drive." Oh, so was this the
So this is like
the delivery guy?
Yeah, this is the delivery guy.
Wow.
Who was wronged because he didn't get a tip. And then he gave the recipient the old chili bag.
So obviously he the old chili bag. So is this now? Obviously he got caught because he posted a video of it online. But I like to think that the customer discovered this by tasting the salsa and going, "That's balls." I knows nuts when I taste them. This was unfortunately his customer was very gay. And he thought he would get away with it until he delivered it to a gay man very familiar with the taste of balls. Oh man. He calls up immediately and is like, this tastes like balls. Like, sir, how do you know? He's like, trust me. Now,
they probably thought he was speaking figuratively, and he was like, no, it tastes like literal balls.
My salsa tastes like balls. They're like, I'm so sorry, sir. We'll replace it with another one. We'll have another one there. No.
You need to fire an employee because
my salsa tastes like balls.
Like scrot.
Like a literal scrotum.
Like somebody's sack has been in my salsa.
At first I thought I was just like confused. Maybe I'm just tasting, balls from yesterday in my mouth. But nope, I tasted my own balls and then I tasted the salsa again. Boom, it's a match. Well, that's really, really crazy. Dinner delivered said the food service had fired the driver and forwarded information about her to authorities as well. Wait. About her? What does that mean? So this wasn't the delivery driver. This was the person at the restaurant?
No, the person who got it was a woman.
But forwarded information about her to authorities as well. I guess this is the
About the woman who tasted the
received.
balls.
Oh, so a woman received this
Some of us women have an acute taste for balls.
as well as a gay man.
Now, we'll have to have a competition to find out who's best, but
The first ever Working Crass competition.
who's the better ball taster?
Which one? Who can taste balls better?
Welcome to the classic game show, Taste My Nuts.
We get a gay guy and a straight woman, and they gotta taste. They gotta taste a series of objects. One of these objects is nuts.
Do-do-do,
Find out next week on Taste These Nuts.
Oh, man.
I'd watch that show. I'd watch that show in a heartbeat. Anyway, the company issued a refund for the food. You know, I would have charged extra.
It's a secret spice.
It's the secret spice.
How do you think we make the salsa spicy? I don't know either Italian.
You want to try my salsa?
I don't know why we turned them Italian.
Hey, they're chefs. All chefs are Italian. You can have...
They work at a Mexican restaurant.
I make a delicious Mexican food.
I make a delicious salsa.
Anyway.
And a spicy meatball.
Oh, man. Deep inside.
I take my 2 raviolis and I put them in the salsa.
I take a 1 ball, I put it in. I take a 1 ball, I put it in. The recipe calls for 2 balls.
So, mamma mia, bolognese.
Oh, my God. Well. Anyway, I thought that was hilarious. Much funnier and
Would you eat if you had ordered food and somebody you found out after the fact that somebody had dipped their nuts in it? Would you continue to eat your food?
I'd eat it faster.
You'd guzzle it down.
I'd guzzle it down. Then I go, nuts. I've always wondered what this tasted like. As a married man, I've been dying to know. Now I know, and now that I have a taste, I like it.
Once you get the taste, you can never go back.
Once you nut, you can't stop.
You get the hunger.
I have developed a hunger for nuts. I mean balls. I mean testicles.
Giblets. That's one of my favorite euphemisms for balls.
Giblets.
Giblets.
Well, he dipped his giblets right in that salsa there. Well, that's the thing about the recipes. You're going to need 2 giblets.
I say, honey, get the Mexican restaurant on the phone, 'cause I swear this here salsa, it's tasting like giblets.
I don't remember adding on giblets, but I guess I did. Oh, man. Anyway. All right. Moving on. You know, we found 2 stories here that relate to us both directly. And I thought that it would be interesting to kind of read them back to back. I played music for many years. I majored in music, so I played a lot of classical music and had a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
You have your PhD. You
I do.
recently earned your PhD.
I did.
And both of these stories revolve around those things. So I thought it would be fun to read through them and you know, give our unique insight on these stories. So
Yeah.
I defended my PhD yesterday, and not one of my family/friends showed up. Not even my fiance.
I have to say, relatable.
Yesterday, I defended my PhD in a STEM field at a highly prestigious program. Unlike many departments, my department's defenses are basically celebrations. You present for 1 hour to anyone who wants to come, your PhD committee asks you a few questions, and then you drink champagne and celebrate. I created a Facebook event for it 3 weeks in advance. My immediate family and very closest of friends all said they could come. These included my best man as well as 2 people who were to give toasts at the wedding. My fiance was going to take off work to come as well.
Well, you messed up already. You never make a Facebook event. Never make a Facebook event.
For anything? Well, here's your first mistake.
First mistake, you got a PhD. Second mistake, you made a Facebook event.
Is this, in your experience, what you do when you defend your PhD? Is you present, anyone can kind of come, your committee asks you a few questions, and then you drink champagne and celebrate?
The committee asking you a few questions is true to my experience. Normally, in my department, I'm not in a STEM field, but in our department, they would typically open up your presentation. They would send out an invite to basically graduate students and faculty in the department. They say, you could, so-and-so is going to be defending their research. Come and watch the presentation on such and such day. For mine, and I think it's because my content was a bit dicey.
You wrote about political correctness and comedy. And
I did. And
so they're like, we're not inviting anyone at this university to this.
Now
there will be a riot.
Yeah.
They had to avoid a riot at your school.
Yeah. They were like, we don't want the building to be burned down. So.
Yeah, this will piss off everyone.
Look, we can't afford Antifa showing up here and throwing bricks through the windows. No, they told me that they forgot to send out the email to the department. That was the official word I received, was we forgot. But I kind of think
we forgot to avoid a riot.
We forgot. How coincidental that we just happened to prevent a massive protest on campus. Funny how that worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they were trying to keep it under wraps, keep it a closed session.
Did you drink champagne and celebrate afterwards?
Nobody brought me champagne.
Well, I think you got fucked off.
Nobody brought me champagne.
You got ripped right off.
But I mean, everybody shook my hand afterwards, and
did anyone dip their balls in your salsa?
We all dipped our balls in the salsa. That is a ritual during your dissertation defenses. At the end, you each dip your balls in a jar of salsa, and they go, "Welcome to being a doctor." Stings, don't it?
They present you with your Buddhist ritual item.
Here's your Buddhist amulet and your 4 cans of Diet Coke and 2 replica guns. Welcome to the elite. I think that's what they do.
Throw those coasters away and welcome to the elite.
But yeah, mine ended up being a closed session. And
so family and friends weren't at yours?
No, but I also thought that it would be weird to invite family and friends to it, because I always feel weird about like it's a school thing. I don't know. Not that I think my family and friends would be uninterested or anything like that. I don't always talk about school stuff with everybody.
Right.
And I'm like, everybody's got stuff going on. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm bad about planning out things like that and letting people know when things are happening. I think my mom went to one of my academic presentations.
Yeah.
When I was getting my master's, I got invited to a journalism conference, and I did a presentation there. My division was like entertainment studies, and it was literally like me and 2 other people and my mom sitting in the room. So that tells you how popular that division, how important that was. But yeah, she wanted to come because it happened to be at the university where my brother was going to school at the time. So he was getting his bachelor's. So my mom was like, hey, well, it's an opportunity for me to see my kids.
Yeah.
See the kiddos.
See the kiddos. talking about journalism.
Actually, my project had nothing to do with journalism.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but
Well,
just got into the conference. I don't know.
well, this person says that their family all said that they would come. Their fiance was going to take off work to come as well. Then yesterday came. I knew 2 of my coworkers couldn't make it because they were out of the country, but I wasn't prepared for what happened. I presented to a nearly completely empty auditorium. Now let's break that sentence down. I presented to a nearly completely empty auditorium.
Well, which was it? Was it completely empty or nearly empty? Those are 2 very different things.
As a PhD, do they teach you to edit?
As a PhD, you do not need to know grammar, sentence structure, syntax.
Do they ever tell you to just remove unnecessary words?
No, they say add more unnecessary words. They say create unnecessary words.
Only my advisor, 2 committee members, and a few members of nearby labs showed. It was so incredibly embarrassing that I almost couldn't make it through my defense. Wow, so you did your defense for less people, and you weren't embarrassed at all.
I literally had 3 people.
This is so embarrassing.
Well, 3 in the room, and then there were 2 virtual.
Yeah,
because they were not
real people.
Yeah, they were holograms.
Or digital people.
They were avatars from Second Life. No,
it's just 2022. You're evaluated by AI now for your PhD.
No, they were just from different universities, so they couldn't fly in for the thing, so.
After my defense, I looked at my phone. I only had one message from my mom saying my family wasn't going to make it on time because they left too late. I called my fiance twice with no answer. It wasn't until 10 p.m. last night that she called me back. It turned out that her best friend from college, who I've known to be quite selfish from previous situations, had tried to kill herself because she found out that her boyfriend had cheated on her. She knew my defense was yesterday, but begged my fiance to visit her all day in the hospital. My fiance didn't even say congrats. No one has called or texted to congratulate me since I defended yesterday. I barely held it together on my call with my fiance, but I'm now so upset that I'm considering calling off the wedding, taking a job, and never contacting any of these people again. I know I'm a horrible person for this, but my big day was completely fucking ruined by their inconsiderate actions. Look, the story about the friend who had a boyfriend that cheated on her or whatever. Bullshit. He just didn't go.
She was like, "Have you got
I'm so sorry I couldn't make it. So my friend has a friend. My friend has a girlfriend. My friend has a boyfriend."
Well, she was like, "If you go to your fiance's dissertation defense, I'll fucking kill myself."
You have to visit me in the hospital.
And she's like, "Well, what do you want me to do, honey? I either come listen to your presentation or she's going to kill herself." My hands are tied. And this guy was like, "I want your friend to die."
This is crazy. This morning, my fiance called me after I was more or less incommunicado all of yesterday. Because I had calmed down, we were able to have a rational discussion. It turns out that there's a lot to the story that I was unaware of because I'm a doofus. First things first, my fiance and I are just fine. She began the conversation with an apology. She explained that while she was in shock on Friday about her friend, she realized immediately after our call that she had completely ignored me in my defense all day. She knows me well and how upset and angry I was. She thought I had every right to be angry, but gave me a day to chill out. You have every right to be angry. It's just that my friend... I'm sorry. I think it's a lie. Maybe that's crazy of me. Maybe I'm just... But I don't know.
I just think it's you're getting too worked up about people not attending, especially like if you're getting a PhD in a STEM field. My guess is you're going to have a lot more opportunities to deliver some sort of academic presentations.
Yeah.
So your friends and family will have other opportunities down the road to come out and listen to you speak.
Yeah, the fault of the friends and family here are the ones that like didn't communicate at all. Like if you get invited to a thing, especially a thing that is an important part of someone's life, and an important next step to their career or whatever, and
I
they
guess I
wanted you to
just
be there for it, you should probably like let them know if you're not going to make it. And it did seem like apparently, I guess the parents were like, "Oh, we can't make it because we're running late," and then didn't come after that either. So it's like, were you ever going to show up? That's a little weird.
yeah, that is weird that the parents were like gonna go but then
Yeah.
didn't, or like were on their way but then didn't show up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a little strange, but also, I'm sorry, but if I had a friend that would say things like, I presented to a nearly completely empty auditorium, I'd be like, you don't deserve the PhD, and I'm not going to come watch them give one to you. I don't want to see them give you a PhD because I know you're dumb. But who am I to say? I only have an undergrad degree. I'm not a fancy PhD like you crazy, smart people. Are people with PhDs smarter than other people that don't have PhDs? Can people realistically use their PhD as a way to say, I'm officially smarter than you?
You know what? More often than you would think, there are people who think because they have fancy letters on a piece of paper that they are more intelligent than everybody else, but in reality, they are just as dumb.
And this comes from a person with fancy letters on the paper.
Yeah, to me, it's meaningless. I told Josh after I did it, I'm like, I feel unaccomplished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I know is not true, but I do think too many people use a degree as an excuse to kind of take an elitist attitude towards things.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there's a difference between like you worked hard and you did research versus having wisdom.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. And I have neither. I work hard on nothing, I know nothing, and I have no wisdom.
And that's what you get with working Crass podcasts.
Well, now I can speak to a little bit of my my
Your-
expertise, my
yeah.
area of expertise, because I did teach music for several years. I, student taught as a band director, and so these band concerts are things that I'm very familiar with. And this person says, no one comes to my concerts anymore. I'm 21, almost 22, and I've played the violin since I was 5. My parents, especially my mom, were always super supportive, taking me to lessons, supervising practice, and taking me to concerts, etc., etc. I'm in college in my hometown, so I still live at home. I have a boyfriend who lives 1,000 miles away, and a best friend who goes to college even farther away. Besides my mom, my dad, and my sister, they're all I've got. I don't have anyone here. Wait. Besides my mom, my dad, my sister, my friend, my best friend, my boyfriend, I don't have anyone here. I took a break from performing completely in middle school and junior high, then got into a prestigious youth orchestra in town. For reference, I have a lot of mental health issues and really struggle with my self-esteem, especially when it comes to violin. I just never feel good enough, and no matter how hard I try, I can't make friends in the music world. I've been pretty much a lone wolf in most aspects of my life, unless my friend is in town for 7 years, I think. I just don't fit in. Wait, what?
They feel alone. They feel like a bit of an outsider. They really feel like all they have is their one friend.
Okay.
And they've felt this way for 7 years. I know it was worded in a way that made it seem like that they didn't
Don't have a PhD?
they don't have. Well, it sounds like they do have a PhD.
Sounds like they do.
No, I know it made it seem
Yeah.
like they only experience this loneliness when their friend is around for 7 years, and every 7 years they go through this. this
Every
wave
7
of
years, I feel
lonely
sad.
feelings.
Every 7 years, Pennywise the Clown comes back.
And haunts the children of Derry.
For my first performance with the youth orchestra, everyone in my family came. Then for the second one, only my mom. I expressed sadness that my dad and my sister hadn't come for that one. They said they just hadn't felt like it, but got over it. My best friend made it to one, and then it kind of seemed like everyone just stopped trying. My mom missed one, and it seems to be just an unspoken thing now that she just doesn't go. I don't even bother asking. My dad and my sister will go, but the last time they came, they sat at the back and didn't even bother to stand up with everyone else during the applause. Okay, so let's get to this. So you're in youth or my mom used to at the end of these things I'm glad for the ones that they didn't come to because my mom would go, those songs are too long. It's a classical music concert where they're playing, just classical music. There's no words to the music. It's not pop music. It's not going to keep people interested. This stuff, what you forget as a performer of classical music is that this shit's boring. Like people don't, there's a reason why you don't turn on Kiss FM on the radio and hear classical music playing because this shit's boring, okay? It's good on you for learning it and good on you for performing it, and the people that do come to those shows are interested in hearing classical music. That's great. But people in your family might not be that interested in classical music. And to be fair, it's not a very accessible art form. It's not that interesting.
Really?
As someone who's performed in those groups and understands what can be great about them, it's not that much fun to watch. It's really boring. It just is.
It's not enjoyable for anyone under the age of 75.
Exactly.
My grandparents used to exclusively in their car
listen to classical music.
Yeah, symphony radio. That was pretty much all they listened to.
And
which
look,
I
like
say,
it.
I liked it.
I like it too, but it's not for everyone, okay? You have to, sometimes in this life, you have to realize that most people are dumb and stupid and must be pandered to. You get mad when you see people pandering to people because you're like, hey, audiences are smarter than that. You don't have to pander to your audience, but the truth is you do because they're stupid, okay? You have to pander a little bit, okay? The people who are successful in this world have found out how to successfully pander to stupid people because the bulk majority of people are stupid. If you can make things for intelligent people.
Does the conductor turn around to the audience and go, "This one's a song"?
Okay, everyone. This one's Beethoven, like the dog.
Can you say Beethoven?
Beer. No, close. This one's Debussy. The pussy? No, not the pussy.
But just as exciting.
But for this one performance, we'll call it the pussy song. Is that okay for everyone? Yeah. No, my favorite is when a marching band will play whatever the popular song is on the radio. They'll play WAP. Like a marching band version of WAP so that the audience is like, yeah, I kind of know this one.
Well, they're like, oh, this classical music, that's fancy.
But yeah, and then okay, on top of that, we produced comedy shows in Chicago. We produced comedy shows and performed in comedy shows at home in Texas. People don't go to this shit, okay? You should be lucky if your family goes to one performance.
You get three shows, and then
Yeah.
after that, your friends and family are like, "No, you've used your allotted shows on us. We're out."
You can't expect to live your life going to people's shows all the time, and that's okay. That's totally fine. You can't get mad at your friends and family when they don't come to every single performance. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask of people. It really is. And look, I when a thing is new, when a thing is brand new, you've never performed in this thing before, and it's exclusive, it's going to be the only time you do this thing, then I think it's okay to say I would like if my family can come, and if they can make it and they say they can, then okay, expect them to be there, and if they don't, then you can be upset.
Okay, now this is making me rethink what I said for the PhD dissertation guy.
Why?
Because the defense is something you can only do one time.
Right. The issue is the people that said they would be there and then decided not to go. That's rough. But you can't be mad for people that just they can't go. They tried to go and they can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, when you're going to be performing regularly, when this is going to be a weekly thing or a monthly thing, or even if you're going to do this 4 times in a year even. Like you can't expect everyone to show up all the time. People have their own lives and their own performances too. Like people have their own events that they need to invite you to. People have other family members that they need to go see this shit at. But also, it's classical music. It's just most people find it boring.
Yeah, yeah.
When if you perform classical music and you want your family to go to that show, just remember my mother's voice. my sweet mother saying, "Them songs are too long." It's just true. Them songs are too long, okay?
Your mom's concert would be like just a crashing of cymbals and then it's done.
She would go, "Why can't they make them shorter?" And I'm like, "Well, because we can't get in a time machine and go ask Beethoven to make a shorter symphony. Like, what do you mean?"
And your mom's like, "Get him on the phone. I'll set him straight."
"Let me call Beethoven."
You put that man on the phone. I'll talk to him.
"Get Beethoven on the phone. Let me talk to him. Get that Mozart on the phone." I'm in my college orchestra now. I still have very little confidence and feel extremely isolated. Okay, and here's another thing that this person has brought up twice now. Like they feel like they don't have confidence, specifically around playing the violin. Right? They said, especially, I struggle with my self-esteem, especially when it comes to violin. I'm sorry, but it sounds like orchestra isn't for you. Like.
It might not be. It might not be your thing.
Like, it doesn't sound like you get anything out of it. Like, it sounds like it stresses you out to do. I have very little confidence and feel extremely isolated.
I will say I'm the complete opposite to this person,
Yeah.
where if I'm doing a performance and I know my family is there, that makes me 10 times more nervous.
Way more nervous.
Because I'm like,
Way.
I have to see these people again. I gotta live with these people.
Oh, especially on like a comedy show too. Like, I wouldn't want my family coming to something I was trying out for the first time. I would want my family to come to something I'd rehearsed and like know is gonna be good.
Yeah, I just am like that makes me much more nervous. I would rather play to like a bunch of strangers and just, figure myself out over time.
Absolutely.
And then if like you're having strangers stand up and applaud for you, that should tell you like maybe you're doing okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They said, I still have very little confidence and feel extremely isolated. There's a whole other rant there, but I'll save it. The last concert we did was a really big thing. We hit a record for sales since we had a world-famous soloist perform with us, and there were even some interviews with the conductor about it that made it to the news and the radio. It was the biggest concert of my whole career, and I was ecstatic. Okay, I'm sorry, but this whole, everyone who performs in any college orchestra has the guest soloist who's world famous that no one's ever heard of. It's like, we're playing John Mackey, and John Mackey's gonna come to conduct the orchestra. The world famous John Mackey, and your parents go, "Who?" "If it ain't Lil Nas X, I don't know him." "Don't sound like Lizzo to me."
Well, your folks would be like, "Is that Elvis?"
It's like if you're in band or choir or orchestra and you play classical music, nobody in that world is world famous. I'm sorry. Quit saying they're famous. That means that the 1,000 people who do band know about them, but they're not world famous. Nobody knows. It's I used to go to the Texas Music Educators convention every year. Huge convention for all of the Texas, band directors and all, the band world. It's a huge fucking thing. And the choir world, all music teachers really. And there's these, composers, people that compose classical art music. They call it art music if it's like, modern classical. And they get treated like celebrities at Comic-Con. Like, they just like, oh my God.
Well, that's their scene. That's their scene.
I know, that's their scene. But they're not famous. Like, you can walk up to them and talk to them, and this is the only place in the world. They don't go to the grocery store and be like, "Are you John Mackey?"
Well, that's like a lot of academia too, where there's people who are world famous within academic circles.
Within academic circles.
But if you're not in academic circles, you probably have no clue who these people are.
Definitely.
And what they do.
So within orchestral circles, this is a world famous soloist. But, Outside of that, not that famous.
Yeah, if you're
No one knows who the fuck that is.
If you're a symphonic lover, you probably know the person.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
but if you're a WAP lover,
whoa, whoa, whoa. You want to clarify that you're talking about
either way.
WAP, folks. WAP. If you're a wet ass pussy lover. This is becoming a whole nother podcast. But if you're a WAP lover. It was the biggest concert of my whole career, and I was ecstatic. I invited my family, an aunt and uncle, and an old babysitter I've remained kind of close with over the years.
Oh my!
No one came. My mom, not even the old babysitter I've remained kind of close with over the years.
Oh, you poor thing.
My mom called me after the sound check and told me that my dad and sister couldn't make it, but they were all thinking about me. 10 minutes before I went on, my old babysitter called and said she was sorry, but she couldn't make it. When I looked out into the audience...
My old babysitter called and said, I'm sorry, who is this?
When I looked out into the audience, I realized that my aunt and uncle hadn't even bothered to say anything. They just never showed. And I was devastated because suddenly this magical experience didn't feel so magical without anyone to share it with. My dad took me home and was apologetic, but my mom never even asked how it went. I have a concert tomorrow that's even bigger than the last one. We've been invited to go on tour, and this is our big send-off. I went to my mom tonight and asked her about attendance to my concert tomorrow. She barely looked up from her iPad and said, we've been going to your concert since you were 6. You don't need anyone to come anymore, do you? Okay, to be fair, we've been coming to your concert since you were 6 is a pretty good excuse for not going to this one.
This was just like you're a big girl. You don't need us to be there with you all the time.
Absolutely.
You're an adult. Go have your concert. Tell us about how you did after.
This is a big part of growing up too. This is a huge part of growing up is realizing that you don't need your family members at every major moment in your life. Like those new moments that you make for yourself are for yourself. You know, you can have an extraordinary moment without your whole family there. The confusion comes from growing up, you know, as a child, all of your big moments, you have mommy and daddy there, you have your brother and sister there, you know, but when you grow up as an adult, you know, a lot of your big moments happen alone or with new friends or with a girlfriend or boyfriend that you make. You know, you have to be able to make new experiences outside of your family.
You have to learn that you're able to succeed and do it without holding your parents' hands.
Yeah, independently.
Yeah.
You can succeed independently.
Yeah.
Why
did I take such a long pause?
Well, I don't know. You're the one with the PhD. I don't know. You got PhD brain.
Oh my god.
You also took such a big slouch down in the...
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're the biggest sloucher in podcast history.
Just cut this part out.
No, it's staying in.
Oh my god.
And I didn't really know what to say to that, so I just mumbled, "I guess I don't," and went back to my room. Tomorrow I guess I don't need anyone to come anymore to these concerts. Tomorrow I'll take myself to the concert hall and buy myself a makeshift dinner from the drugstore on the corner. I'll eat it alone in the green room. Okay, this is a person who has committed to being miserable now.
This is the child way of responding to hearing that.
Oh, I guess. Here's the thing is they've already described that this is a big event that could be very exciting, right? This is our big send-off. It's even bigger than the last one. This is a magical experience, right? Then let it be all of those things. Let it be a magical experience, big send-off. Why do your mommy and daddy have to be there to make it valid?
Yeah.
Why? Why do like, you know, I get... No, I don't. Your mommy and daddy don't have to be there to make it valid. The people that want to be there are going to go. You even said that it's sold out, or that it's sold a whole bunch of tickets.
Yeah.
So the people that want to come see it are going to come see it. Why not play for any of them? Do you not care about any of the rest of the audience? It just has to be your mommy and daddy.
There's a ton of mommies and daddies in that audience.
Plenty. Pick one of them. They're your new mommy and daddy. Pick anyone in the audience. They're your new mommy and daddy. Call them that.
And then call your parents afterward and say you have new parents.
But, okay, look at how this person has committed to being miserable. Watch. Tomorrow I'll take myself to the concert hall and buy myself a makeshift dinner from the drugstore on the corner. I'll eat alone in the green room. I'll look for familiar faces in the audience and find none. And then, like I did last time, I'll keep my head down as I wade through the crowd of everyone else's friends and family alone. I feel silly. I'm an adult. Why does it matter so much if my parents are there? Well, you said it.
Well, you're asking the right questions.
Exactly.
So that's a start.
I'm not even sure if I'm looking forward to it tomorrow because no one comes to my concerts anymore, and sometimes I wonder what's the point of everything I put into performing art if I have nobody to share it with. So all of this is so contradictory.
But why can't you share it with your fellow performers?
Exactly. This is so easy to fix, right? This is such an easy fix. You're the person, not you.
No, it's me.
The person writing this. You're the reason why it's going to be miserable now. It's not on your parents for not coming. It's not on your family. You have committed to saying this will now be a miserable event, and I will be sad, and I will look around at other people with their families, and I will feel sad about it. Instead of buying yourself a makeshift dinner from the drugstore on the corner, eating it alone in the green room, why not go get yourself a nice dinner that you like at a restaurant? Some nice salsa with some gonads dipped in them. Why?
Yeah, your experience could be sadder.
You could get balls in your salsa.
Somebody could dip their balls on your violin.
But don't go eat alone in the green room. Find one of your fellow performers and eat with them and make a new friend in the green room. Instead of looking for familiar faces in the audience and finding none, look at the faces in the audience and say, wow, look at all of the people that showed up to listen to me play. This is all about perspective. It's 100% all about perspective. And if your perspective is mommy and daddy have to be there for this to mean something to me, then orchestra's not even for you. You're not doing this for the art. You're doing this for some kind of validation.
Yeah. You're definitely seeking some sort of validation from your parental figures as if your parents are the only people who can give you meaning.
Did I do a good job, mommy, daddy? And they go, I've been doing this since you were 6. I don't know. Can you decide whether or not you did a good job for yourself now that you're in college? This person said, I'm not even sure if I'm looking forward to it tomorrow because no one comes to my concert. Oh, I read this. What's the point of everything I put into a performing art if I have nobody to share it with? Well,
Except you do. You have a whole orchestra of other
performers.
Other players.
Yep. And an almost sold out show.
You could be the person who goes, hey, everybody, let's go out and get a drink to celebrate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This could be the time. This could be the best night of your life if you chose to let it.
You could be the person who's like, we're going to take a group selfie on the stage and then send it to your parents.
And I don't want to come across as heartless here because I completely understand having an event that's meaningful and not having people show up for it.
And feeling unsupported.
Absolutely. I understand that. I have been there. But as I've realized in these situations, it is all about perspective. You can, we've performed shows for 2 people sitting in an audience. We performed improv comedy, which is the worst form of art, the lowest form of art, even lower than it's like the golf of art. It's just so boring and bad. And performed that for 2 people. It was like rape to them because they don't want this. Nobody wants. Every improv show is kind of like a rape.
They were saying no, and you guys were saying yes and.
But but we did it, And you know what? I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that as something fun. And we kept a positive attitude, and we said this. It's not even for the audience.
And
it's not for the people that we wanted to come to this. It's just for us. We did what we meant to do, and it made us a little bit better. So that the next time we did a show, and less people showed up, we knew how to do it. We committed to performing, and that's all. That is all it is.
Yeah.
You're performing for the sake of getting better at performing. Every time you're on stage is an opportunity to get better.
Yeah. And I feel like this person feels like they need their parents there as some sort of security blanket. It's the only way they can feel supported. And the parents are like, no, we want you to be independent and learn that you have the ability to perform and make meaning for yourself.
Well, we don't know that. These parents could be assholes. They're like, I'm just not going to that shit.
No, I know.
I mean, this could be my mom.
Yeah.
It's too long. Them songs are too long.
Yeah. We don't know for sure, but I like to believe that that's what it is in my mind.
Oh man. Well, let's see here. Oh, yeah, we definitely should wrap it up here. Well, this was fun. But please, if you want to support this show, the best way to do so is to subscribe to us on YouTube and hit the notification bell. We are at Working Crass Pod on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Go follow us on all the platforms. But most importantly, subscribe to that YouTube. Hey, share our stuff if you like it. You know, it'd help us out.
Dip your nuts in some salsa for us.
And we'll see you next week, every single Monday,
Wait,
as
what'd
always.
You learn?
Excuse me, I was getting to that. Of course, I'm not just gonna end it. Now, finally, Lauren, what did you learn today?
I learned that I may have sounded like I don't have gratitude for my PhD experience, but I want to say that I am really thankful for having had the opportunity to pursue that, and I do feel like I learned a lot from it. And even though I may stumble over my words and take long pauses and stutter for long periods of time, that has no bearing on the degrees that I have obtained. I am a strong and stunning and brave individual. That's what I learned. And I don't need my mommy and daddy at my concerts.
I have a PhD, and that actually means that I'm smarter than everyone else anyway. You just revert to that when you're in doubt. Actually, though, I do have a PhD, and that those letters on that paper actually do make me a little smarter than anybody else.
I know I don't come across that way all the time, but
I learned that it's all about perspective, folks. It's all about your perspective. If you have a negative perspective on what's going to happen, then you will have a negative experience. If you have a positive perspective, you will have a positive experience. It's just what it is. You know, and a lot of people think that it's their emotions and their feelings that rule them. But I would argue that it's your perspective and the way you handle and deal with those emotions that form your reality. And that's not a funny thing. That's just a real thing. So get out there and put your balls in some salsa, folks. All right. Goodbye.
bye.